Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Okay.
Where the front paws are running around and have you seen that in real life or on a video or anything?
The back half.
Does it not look like a chariot race? Every time I'm like, do they race these dogs against each other and play like gladiator music?
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast and every week we choose a popular saying to take it admittedly shallow, hopefully comedic, once in a while interesting, and if we're lucky, educational. Dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but mostly we're going to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on my name is Jurassic Mark.
And I'm Don Pardo.
What?
I don't know if we dipped off into some old-timey things there.
Don Pardo.
I'm skinny-ish.
Skinny-ish. Rocking it.
Close.
And today we're going to introduce this little tidbit.
No, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Ow.
You catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Thanks, Marge. Well, it's true. It's always good to be a nice person. Spilling it out with the niceties.
That's what it means. So you catch more flies, but you catch your how do you describe this? When you use catching, if you really want to catch flies, talk nice.
Arguably, if you lay out a bunch of things, like the flies might be also attracted to turds. If you think about if out on the ground, flies love turds.
So you catch more flies with turds than vinegar.
Think about it.
So the meaning, though, is
Yes.
like how you use this has nothing to do with flies. Obviously, it's an idiom, but it's you're better to come in gentler and don't lose your cool. Don't be mean. Be passive. I had an incident today I was sharing with you. We'll leave it off the air, but
It doesn't have to be passive.
No, yeah, you're right. It doesn't have to be passive, but
It just has to be kind.
kind.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're kind of combining what you said last week about how great, or 2 weeks ago, I think, how great your life was going, and the key was kindness.
Kindness.
Kindness goes a long ways.
It does.
Yeah, you catch more flies with honey. In other words, the sweeter you behave, the more productive you'll be in what you're trying to achieve.
Well, there's lots of ways to whether it's just like influencing people or working a situation, you're going to get further ahead by not being a knob.
Do you think that's true with your children? Do you think...
I've wondered this with just general being kind. And it's like, of course, you're going to be kind to your kids and you're going to show
you love your kids.
And you're going to show tenderness and you're going to show love.
But
it's not always that the
the
world...
heavy hand... You okay?
Yeah, the heavy hand. What are we talking about right now?
Parenting, like, is having a heavy hand, being heavy-handed with how you lead and guide your kids versus, is it punishment versus reward based? Like, is that kind of a honey and vinegar situation?
Yeah, I think for the most part you get further ahead, but I think sometimes parents just get frustrated, and so you just go to like rage or anger or raising one's voice because you're just like losing your junk and you've tried to be nice 100 times.
Okay, what
Hey,
about
Johnny.
employee, employer?
Well, you have to.
So employer towards an employee, I think this extra matters. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar. If you're just like barking orders.
But that's like out of the movies. Have you seen this in reality? At least it's not in my world.
Barking order bosses? I've had one.
I don't know.
Long
Maybe
time
in different
ago.
places of life you just wouldn't accept that.
It's a long time ago that I had this boss. It's definitely not the person I'm meeting tomorrow.
Okay. for sure, that's a good thing.
No, I worked in a fire. I'll be careful saying this because this is literally what it was: a fire retardant door factory.
Okay.
And the supervisor, the boss, the guy I reported to, I mean, you kept your nose down if he was even walking. It was a giant like assembly line kind of job, and if he came around, he was just always yelling at somebody.
Well, that's just like, maybe if it was in a funny way, but that wouldn't be tolerable.
It wasn't funny. Yeah, it was awful. I never got in trouble, but I saw it all around me with other people. But yeah, versus having an actual decent relationship with your boss where he's like, not like fake encouraging you, but like you're on his team. You're working together towards something.
You have to be kind to draw the best out of people in that way.
Yeah, and I think that works too, even when you have been done wrong by, like whether it's customer service related. If you calmly approach, the customer service counter versus what people now refer to as Karens, which I don't really like that term, but those ones are just like self-righteous, entitled, like da 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 da. If they had just gone, hey, listen, I know I ordered this, but I got this.
You feel bad for the Karens now because it's like so over, like you can't say anything to anybody about anything or you're just a Karen.
Can't say anything to anybody about anything.
Or you're a Karen. And that's not kind. Because I know some Karens and they're lovely people.
Right.
Yeah.
Why that name?
I don't know.
Where did Karen? Is that an idiom now? If they're not named Karen, should we be covering Karen next week?
I don't know. You know what? We should bring in a Karen.
Nice.
Yes. We should.
Do you know a Karen that would be fitting for the podcast?
Well, she's not a Karen, but her name's Karen.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I got a Karen for us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
is she a Karen individual?
Oh, yeah. Karen Carolek. Karen is Karen. And Sharon is Karen. Yeah.
Is Karen a Sharon Karen?
No, no, but I know a Sharon and a Karen.
We should have both.
We should.
Anyway, Sharon is Karen. Next week on the Village Idiom.
Well, this idea of, being kind, using honey more so than vinegar, and I was thinking about how like every conversation has kind of like two direct opposite sides of how people look at something.
Right.
And so what could be like, if I was all sweet to you, well, that would be weird. But if I was all sweet to you, you would assume that I was wanting something or that I was like,
right. It sounds like, all right,
why are you buttering me up like this? And so like
immediately you honeying me up.
Right. It's like, it like breeds mistrust.
Right.
Yeah. So that I think is a thing.
Yeah.
Which brings me to this next little idea. You and I are going to have a disagreement over a dog. I have a dog with no legs that I need you to take care of for the weekend. Okay.
Do I know that, or are you about to ask me?
Hey, buddy, what do you got going on this weekend?
Oh, a few little errands running around here and there, but pretty chill weekend, actually.
Running around, that must be nice.
Yeah.
Not everyone kind of has that opportunity. I was thinking of my little guy, Skip.
Skip.
Which is ironic because he has no legs, so he doesn't really skip anywhere.
Oh, that's, yeah.
But I had an opportunity to go, to head out for the weekend so that I could learn some new tricks and ways to kind of be real kind to him. But it's not something that I can bring him to. And
I could take him.
Would you do that?
I would. Not only will I take him, but by the time you get back, I will have him skipping.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're a real caring person.
Thank you. Yeah, I can already picture it. I grab him by the tail. If I get him really moving round and around and around Lakeside,
yeah,
I could get him to skip.
That's hilarious. You're going to skip my dog like a stone across the lake. Oh, no. Okay.
Now, I don't think he's going to bring the stick back.
No, he can't retrieve it. Nor when he finishes skipping.
He's not a golden retriever.
No.
He's just a golden.
Yeah, he'd be sunk at the bottom of the lake by the end.
There's no dog paddle.
That's not gonna drive. So, but then how do you have that?
How does he pee if he can't lift a leg?
I think he just rolls around away from himself.
Roll over. My dog does tricks. Watch this. Roll over.
Or he just goes in a line, like with his face.
Oh, like an inchworm.
Yeah, he just inches his face along while he's peeing, so he's not peeing on himself because that would be nasty.
Right. Yeah. Inchworm peeing.
He's not a disgusting dog.
No, it's Skip. We all love Skip.
Yeah, he's super well kept. Now, how would my asking
shake
go?
A paw? Oh, I'm sorry.
How would my asking go in a Vinegar situation?
Because that was pretty gentle. You're like, hey, buddy, you want to watch my dog? I'm gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm busy this weekend. I need a hand.
Ding dong. Here's my dog. Gotta go.
It's that kind of thing. It's much more vinegary.
Yeah, I would be feeling salty.
You don't do anything anyway, so watch my dog.
Yeah, and then you drive off. I would
Why are you being like that?
Same task. I'm still watching your dog. I'm still teaching him to skip, but I'm annoyed the whole weekend instead of being like, yeah, this is super fun having your dog.
Right, because it's a pleasure to have Skip.
I just dog sat last week for real. And,
Really?
And it was asked quite gently, and they even brought me and my daughter a gift for watching their dogs.
This sounds like it could be a business. A little part-time gig. A little side hustle.
Dog watching.
Yeah.
Dog walking. Yeah, no. Why did the dog have to be legless for this little skit we played?
I don't know. Just I felt empathetic. So, if I said dogs have 4 legs, then what would you say to that?
Yep.
No, not all dogs do have 4 legs.
Oh,
So what if he has 3 legs? Is he still a dog?
he's a tripod. He's a tri-dog.
What if he has 2 legs and he's got a little wheelchair?
On the back half?
Doesn't matter. Front half, back half.
Do they do the wheels on the front? I think I've only seen the back.
Well, he could direct himself. He could go like a little T-Rex. He'd just be running around like a little raptor.
The ones, have you ever seen a dog has his front legs?
If
but
it
he's-
had just his hind legs
got-
and was running around, that would be terrifying.
I've seen that.
And just running at you?
Yeah.
Like a T-Rex.
I've seen dogs with only the back legs. But
Jurassic
have
World
you-
4.
Going back to your little wheelchair version of a dog,
Okay.
where the front paws are running around, and have you seen that in real life or on a video or anything?
The back half.
Does it not look like a chariot race? Every time I'm like, do they race these dogs against each other and play like gladiator music?
Chariot race with your 2-legged
Like
dog.
wiener dogs with only 2 front legs, but they've got chariots at the back. And you
They've
could have
made a
little,
business out of
little
it?
puppet, what do you call them? Gladiators.
And they've made a business out of it. But there is not enough dogs to replace them. So they start ripping the legs off of dogs.
Yeah, but then you can sell hot dogs with dog meat.
Or like turkey legs. Ooh, that's not good.
And just so that you can keep the chariot business going.
Well,
And the business would be called, I don't know. I was hoping you just right off the cuff
I got
set up.
nothing.
I was waiting for the spike.
No, I got nothing. I'll chew on it while we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ben Gurr.
I was going with Ben-Hur, but I
Yeah.
couldn't think of anything. Ben-Gur. Oh. Anyways,
Wow.
somewhere in there, we mutilated a dog.
You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. I'm going to give you 3 choices of where the origin story of this may have come from. Let's
Okay.
see if you have any idea, or do you know already?
I have no idea.
All right. Did it come from an insect plague in the New York City in the 17th century? Now think about that. 17th century New York. Is it even possible? Maybe I'm throwing you off. An insect plague. I didn't say flies. Insect plague in NYC in the 17th century.
That sounds like a bubonic type plague situation with fleas, which is where I think you got that information. Okay, continue next.
Or is it an Italian teacher in London? That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Or is it Chinese medicine? We've got insect plague, NYC. We've got an Italian teacher in London, or Chinese medicine.
I'm going to go Chinese medicine.
Chinese medicine?
Yep, because it makes the least sense.
Don't you do like honey and apple cider vinegar? Isn't that supposed to be good for you?
I did come across that using for fruit fly traps using vinegar and soap. And the fruit flies, let me get this straight. Drosophila.
Wait a minute. Are you about to say we catch more flies with vinegar than honey?
No. That you need there's something about the vinegar.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So it's opposite.
Drosophila melanogaster was a fruit fly.
Publilius.
Drosophila melanogaster. But yeah, the vinegar was an attractive thing. That
So you catch more flies with vinegar. This idiom's wrong. Price is wrong, Bob.
price is wrong, Bob. Maybe if you do put some honey in there, maybe they'll be even more drawn. But anyways, let's find out where this thing comes from.
Do you ever hear people freezing flies and then tying little things to their feet?
I've heard of this. Yes.
Anyway, I don't have any of it. It just popped into my head right now.
Okay, continue.
All right, let's find out.
Said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origin.
Alrighty, that's right. Let's get into the nerdy and the dirty. It's not so dirty. So obviously we did talk about the meaning, but flies in this idiom clearly represent your goals or what you're trying to catch, what you're trying to get to. Honey stands for the agreeable things you do to achieve those goals. Vinegar is the disagreeable thing you may do to achieve those goals. So in an attempt to catch the flies, i.e. achieving what you want or your goals, you had better use nice methods, i.e. honey, than disagreeable ones, i.e. vinegar. Put differently, people become more successful in life by being nicer rather than being hurtful, mean, or insolent. So here's the deal. The appearance of this phrase in a work by Benjamin Franklin in guess what book?
He was Chinese, so this is good. It's good.
In the 1744 edition of his annual almanac Poor Richard, which has come up ad nauseum on this podcast.
Awesome.
Because Ben Franklin, Benji Frankie, just put everything he could uncover, whether it was his or not, in his Poor Richard almanacs. So he said, tart words make no friends. A spoonful of honey will catch more flies than a gallon of vinegar. However, he doesn't get the credit. Everybody knows he heard this somewhere else. In 1666, Giovanni Torriano, a well-known teacher of Italian in London, published a collection of proverbs titled Piazza Universale di Proverbi Italiani, or a commonplace of Italian proverbs and proverbial phrases digested in alphabetical order. Short titles were clearly not a thing for that. That's happened quite a bit where we're like, from this book, and it's like a 12-word titled book. But anyway, he said, honey gets more flies to it than doth vinegar. End of story. He nailed it. The Italian...
and he got it from a Chinese guy.
No, there's no.
He was out one night.
There's no Chinese medicine.
He was out one night getting.
However,
Fu Young.
As much as Giovanni Torriano gets the credit, and he gets the credit all over the never failed me yet internet. Earlier than that, the Oxford English Dictionary again. The Oxford Dictionary of Proverbs says there was a French version in 1624. Which does predate that by a couple of decades. St. Francis de Sales, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Here's the French version. This is going to be bad. Souvenez-vous que l'on prend plus de mouches avec un soulerier de mille, that's honey, qu'avec Saint Barry de vinegar. Which basically says, remember that one catches more flies with a spoonful of honey than with 100 barrels of vinegar. That predates Torriano. But whenever we see them that close, it makes me think this was being said all over the place. Because that one's in French, one's Italian.
And you called it China. It's a well-known Chinese phrase.
Anyway, the correct answer, according to your choices, was the Italian teacher in London, because everybody gives him all the credit. But there was a slightly different French version. And then just for fun, 1842, way later, but just for fun, Great American, used some vinegary wisdom on everybody. In an address to the Temperance Society in 1842, Abraham Lincoln enjoined his listeners thusly. Here it is. Here's the quote. When the conduct of men is designed to be influenced, persuasion, kind, unassuming persuasion, should ever be adopted. It is an old and true maximum that a drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. So with men. So gall, vinegar, a little bit different, but comes from the same sort of things. In fact, even in the Bible, when they raise up a sponge to Jesus on the cross, some versions say it was dipped in gall, some say vinegar. So I don't actually know what the difference between gall and vinegar is. I'm assuming gall comes from your gallbladder.
I would think gall sounds bitter.
More bitter? It's a bitter vinegar?
I don't know. It just seems like a bitter thing.
How do you make a vinegar bitter?
Age it.
You have the gall. You have some gall. You have some gall.
Well, I'm trying to think of things that you can do to vinegar.
What can you do to vinegar? So you talked about catching fruit flies, but isn't there actually a human sort of, home remedy with apple cider vinegar and honey? Does that sound familiar at all?
I don't know.
Just my mom.
It sounds like, did she rub it on your chest when you were sick or something?
No, I think
Put
we
it on
took
your
a little-
feet and then put
little
socks on?
spoonful of apple cider vinegar.
Spoonful of vinegar makes the mess. No,
Makes
that's
the
not
honey
it.
go down.
Well, in that, do you enjoy like a swig of vinegar? Like if there was like, I'm not even joking. Like,
No.
really?
A swig of... I like it on...
Fries and
I've done that.
malt vinegar, and just next thing you know, you get
like
the
that.
bottle is on your lips and you're
No.
having a... Really?
No. I've never swigged vinegar.
You're so
I'm not
weird.
I'm not a vinegar swigger.
So weird.
You've swigged... You're a vinegar swigger. Is that what you're saying?
Be careful. Yes.
No, I've never swigged the vinegar.
I've swagged.
You swagged?
Yeah. It's delicious.
You got swagger? You're a swagger.
Particularly, like you've been to like these. What's the one in Langley? It's the like the olive press or whatever. It's like these vinegar. And
I've heard of it. I've never been there.
so there's like vinegar stores, like balsamic-y aged, and there's
Is
like
that how they do it? You swig it?
they give you like a thimble-sized thing of vinegar, and you just throw it back. It's delicious. I'm not joking. It's amazing. It's so good. I want to do it right now.
I have a drawer, a shelf full, like one of the shelves in the door of my refrigerator with a variety of hot sauces.
Okay, like that, but vinegar.
So how do you choose a different vinegar for a different meal? Like I can think of one. Is it for cooking purposes or is it?
No. You're just crazy talk now. It's like, so you got some nice bread and some little oil
Like
and
a oil
vinegar.
Okay.
You're gonna put it on a
Balsamic.
salad.
So then you get different flavors of
Yes,
that.
it's like mind-blowingly different. Like a mission fig, aged balsamic. It's like mind-blowing flavor.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Let's go tomorrow.
we should. Yeah,
Can't go tomorrow. But
actually
I
love-
would like to go to that place.
yeah, I love vinegar. Yeah, and then you're tasting it, you're doing your thing. You know how it is. You know how they roll.
Yep. Anyway,
And then on the sweet side, one of those cool things that we have locally is the Honeybee Center.
yeah, that's a good one. I've been there.
Yeah. Have you cracked open like the tubes?
I have some right over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, they just got eaten over Christmas, but I usually have a stash of those tubed honeys, different flavors.
Yeah, and so it's like, well, this is when the bees were in such and such an area, and so outside of like the
No, I haven't done that. These are like artificially flavored ones, but I know what you're talking about.
so
Like these are clover
this
honey.
is when they were with the green apple.
Yeah.
No, but yeah,
But literally, they
yes,
they have.
it takes
those
on the
kinds of-
flavor of wherever.
Did you
they
know
were.
that honey, possibly vinegar too, but honey doesn't spoil.
Really?
So it can be centuries old, and sometimes it might look off, but if it's just warmed up, melted a bit, it's right back to its original state. Does not spoil. People carry it around in like pre-refrigeration days as a go-to little food group because it does not go bad.
I actually went to a bee festival. It's so stupid. They were going through and like scraping off the honey off the comb thing, the wax, whatever, and
Yep.
dripping out all the honey, and the dude was putting live bees in his mouth.
For what?
That they don't have a stinger, that the males didn't have stingers or something like that. And so he was putting bees in his mouth and then letting them go, like, and then bee.
It's part of a show.
Yeah.
There's no other reason to do
And
that.
so
other than
apparently
show, right?
they do it a couple times a year, and you can volunteer to do it. And this is just locally at the Honeybee Center to get a tree beard, the bee beard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so I thought that would be amazing because I
You gotta
hate insects.
you gotta like stay at a pretty rested position with that on, right? Like you have to maintain a rested bee face with the beard on. Do you
resting
not?
bee face.
Resting bee face, don't you?
I guess
To keep from getting stung.
that's hilarious. Resting bee face. That's you got me on that one. That was a great one. Yeah, you can go in there and like you can buy like a dozen bees or something like that, or
That's not a beard. That's like a 13-year-old beard.
a little scraggly.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. You can order 12 and he gives you 13, but that's just a freebie. Yeah.
I was going with Baker's dozen. I couldn't see the joke. That's a freebie.
But getting a bee beard would be a crazy like lifetime thing.
A lifetime thing?
Like once in a lifetime to get a bee beard?
Oh, once in a lifetime. Yeah. Because I'm like, if you got to keep it on for a lifetime, I'm not doing this. Actually, I wouldn't do it ever. I
hate insects.
If I have
like
any
that,
fear, it's bees.
Yeah.
Like we've had that ladybug infestation.
Not my
If they were
favorite.
bees, we wouldn't have this studio. There'd be a gap in our recording.
Burn it all down.
Yeah, we'd be out in a meadow somewhere with one microphone.
Okay. Well,
Anyway.
I did come across this.
What do you got?
I read a little internet joke. Thought I'd write it down for you. My sister used to be a beekeeper. She lived in California, but was always very emotional. She decided to get into beekeeping by way of therapy. But one day her favorite bee, named Alidocious, died. We always called her the super sister because she looked after us, but things were never the same after her bee died. We blamed it on my super fragile sister's ex-bee Alidocious.
Start at the beginning. Where does she live?
California.
Okay. I was trying to get ahead of you.
Okay.
And so I'm like, California, maybe by the bay. And she's sad. I thought for sure it was going to land on Cry Baby.
Okay.
Cry Baby. But that was way better. Say the punchline.
Okay. We blamed it on my super fragile sister's ex-bee Alidocious.
That's
There you
impressive.
go. There you go. But anyways, that's it.
Wow.
We should get into some riddlings.
You want to?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Well. Riddles. Okay. Well, oh, sorry. I was trying to make it longer than that. So is it just vinegar?
Yes.
Vinegar. Coven and vinegar. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. This is mine. Oh, these are bad too. I'm going to give you this one because I just want you to say it. Abraham Lincoln's version of this idiom is Gomer Pyle's catchphrase. So Abraham Lincoln's version of this idiom is Gomer Pyle's catchphrase, and I'm going to even give you...
You can catch more flies with honey than you can with golly gee.
Golly.
Golly.
With a gallon of golly.
Nice.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Okay.
Fruit would have been
Like if
acceptable.
you had something that had the word
grapefruit.
fruit, yes, I would have given it to you.
Oh, man. I should have tried harder.
I was still good.
But it actually was dragon fruit?
It was dragon fruit.
What? How did you get dragon fruit in... What language was that?
It's all Latin.
You got dragon fruit in Latin.
I did everything in Latin.
Dragon fruit didn't
I didn't
exist
say they
when
were
the
good.
Latin language existed.
Dragon fruit's been around for forever.
Not where Latin was.
Well, where do you think it came from if not from like the Garden of Eden? All fruit had to have
Did you
existed.
put it into Google Translate?
No.
How'd you get dragon fruit in Latin?
You just put in dragon fruit in Latin.
In Google Translate.
Yes. And it tells you the genus of everything.
All right. That's stupid. Dragon fruit flies. And that's how you play Riddling. I got one more that will leave dangling out there.
You can reach out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebooks, the YouTubes, or the Twitters at 3 Minutes Gone.
All right, you ready for this?
Yep.
Last one. Sweet talk will give you better results than nastiness if you want a 2 common kitchen ingredient explosive foam.
My goodness. And that's 3 minutes.
I'll say it again.
Okay.
Sweet talk will give better results than nastiness if you want a 2 common kitchen ingredient explosive foam.
And that is 3 minutes gone.
That's a stretch. That's
Wow.
work. If anybody gets
These
that,
are garbage today.
I'm sending you more stickers.
Okay.
Man,
Well, that was fun.
it's always fun. I like
It's good
hanging out with you.
I like hanging out with
We
you.
should have had oil and vinegar and some bread. This should have been a
or honey
or-
or something
or
that we could just have eaten.
yes, just some honey. I
Just
got
some
honey.
snacks,
Could've
some
just had
chips.
toast and honey. Just anything. Sushi.
Well, I'm Skitty,
I'm Jurassic Mark.
and these are the Village Idioms.
Catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
And that's 3 minutes gone.